Kia ora and welcome along to the Met Service Severe Weather Update for today, Tuesday the 16th of May. You can see on the satellite charts an area of cloud out towards the north and the west. We'll keep an eye on that, but the main area of weather for today is this band of cloud feeding on towards the far southern parts of the country, towards parts of Fiordland and Southland. There are some severe weather watches and warnings out for those areas as we head through the rest of today for Tuesday. You can see though, we are getting that cloud moving towards the more northern parts of the country, and there's some more wet and windy weather in store for the likes of, say, Northland, Auckland and the Bay of Plenty as we head through towards Thursday and Friday. For Wednesday though, we are looking at heavy rainfall still pushing on towards that far southern parts of the country, in towards particularly Fiordland and those southern parts of Western. Some rainfall feeding across out in towards parts of Southland as well. Some snowfall about the higher ground through the southern lakes. And then up north, this next area of low pressure brings strong winds and a period of heavy rainfall in through Northland, Auckland and across and towards the Coromandel. You can see as we go through towards Friday, it clears away pretty quickly. Still some heavy bursts on that, still 1 or 2 rumbles of thunder. And this area of low pressure sits out towards the far west of us and continues to bring some more blustery conditions across those northern parts of the country as we head on in towards the weekend as well. So there's still plenty happening, but we'll start off with those severe weather warnings you can see down in the southern parts of the country. The heaviest rainfall is likely to be about Fiordland and Western. We have got those severe weather warnings out for that heavy rainfall through there. So in terms of Fiordland, another 50 to 70 millimetres of rainfall. Could still be 1 or 2 more thunderstorms to watch out for as we go through the rest of today. And this warning runs right the way through until the evening time tonight. There's also a heavy rain watch in place for Southland again until we head in towards the evening time, and the return of some snowfall about the central parts of Otago and up in towards the Queenstown Lakes area. Now the heaviest snowfall is likely to be above about 800 metres, and lesser amounts perhaps down to as low as 600 metres. It's worth saying there's still a little bit of uncertainty about how low this snow will get, thanks to the fact we've got this cold air coming up from the south and that heavy rainfall which could just push that snow level just a little bit lower. So it's worth keeping an eye on those forecasts. It's worth bearing in mind as we go through the night time tonight, Wednesday into Thursday morning, there will be some heavy snow about the tops of the ranges for places like the Crown Range Road or perhaps the Linders Pass. So do keep an eye on those road snowfall warnings as well. But it will be a chilly night, and I think we will find at least a dust and a snow about the very tops of the ranges through there. We've also got another heavy rain watch for parts of Dunedin and Clutha. Again, as we go through the end of the day today, Wednesday through towards the early hours of Thursday, with that rain pushing back in through there. Perhaps enough to reach warning criteria as well for you guys. So do keep an eye on the forecast as we head through the night time tonight and into towards that very first part of Thursday. A bit of a wet end to the day and a wet start to Thursday. As we head up the western coast, you can see we've got another heavy rain warning for the rest of Western. South of about Harihari, that's where we're going to find the heaviest rainfall, 100 to 150 millimetres of rainfall. Again, the heaviest about the tops of the ranges. The lesser amounts down towards the coast, and still perhaps 1 or 2 rumbles of thunder not out of the question. But I think it is, going to be heaviest rainfall about the tops of the ranges as we go through towards that early hours of Thursday morning. And similarly, we've got a watch out for heavy rainfall in those northern parts of Westland, up in towards the Grey District as well, and that's until the afternoon on Thursday. So that's our South Island. As we head across towards the North Island, we're looking at the rainfall coming in a little bit later on Thursday. Watch as we go through the daytime on Thursday. The winds pick up, those northeasterlies. That rain spreads in through Northland, Auckland, the Coromandel and the Bay of Plenty. You can see it moves through fairly quickly. Could still be some fairly intense bursts of rainfall, especially for the likes of, say, Northland as we head through the night time tonight. So there are a selection of heavy rain watches and strong wind watches for the Northland. And they're really, again, as we go through that end of the day on Thursday. So it's quite late in the day on Thursday. So you've got time to kind of have a bit of preparation. And it's a similar kind of time for that rain and wind watch. So it's late in the day on Thursday through towards the early hours of Friday. Similarly, as we head down towards Auckland, perhaps a little bit later starting, but again, late in the day on Thursday through and towards Friday, those winds picking up, gusts perhaps 80, 90 kilometres an hour in the most exposed areas, and some intense bursts of rain as well as we go through towards the end of the day there. And similarly for the likes of, say, the Coromandel and the Bay of Plenty, we're looking at that rainfall arriving as we head towards the end of the day on Thursday and in towards the early part of Friday. And for the Bay of Plenty itself, perhaps a little bit later still. So it's all coming in from that north. So you can see it arrives in Northland first, then Auckland, then Coromandel, and then finally as we go through towards the Bay of Plenty for those early hours of Friday morning through to the afternoon there. So there's plenty of wet weather coming through later on. But before we get there, we've got that heavy rainfall down in the south as well. We've got those watches for Southland. We've got the watches as well for Dunedin and Clutha, and that snowfall watch as well about those inland parts of the Southern Lakes area. So do keep an eye on the forecast wherever you are in the country. A pretty unsettled end to the week. And that's it from me. There's more at metservice.com.